Yo!
Welcome.
Yo, welcome. We are the Comic Convo Express. I'm Pedro, the Marvel fanboy himself, and with me is...
And I'm Tom Ells. It's the last son of Krypton.
And we are live on twitch.tv/PevGamer, all caps. And for the first time, we are also on TikTok, on tiktok.com/PevGamer. And you can also check us out on our YouTube channel, on youtube.com/, is it
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's live.
right. Comic Convo Express. We got our own channel. All the episodes are on there. Please support and subscribe, please. And like us if you like us. And if you don't, you don't. But you like us. And you can also check us out on our Patreon page on patreon.com/Comic Convo Express as well. You get to, if you join now for as low as $4 a month,
$4.
you get early access and every extra behind the scenes, as well as our new show called the After Hours.
After Hours.
You know what I mean?
What did he say?
It's the After Hours. It's where the gloves are off. And anything can happen. It's uncensored and uncut. Anything can happen. We can talk about anything.
Anything. Come join us on Patreon, people.
Come join us on. And with our partner here, Pev Gamer, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Let's get right into episode 7. So episode 7 will feature all about DC Comics' own Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman.
I apologize for our attire. We kind of ran out of Superman merchandise, so enjoy that Curse of the White Knight Batman figure right next to Pedro. Gentlemen, jumping right into segment 1, I would like your top 3 Superman movies. Now, these can be animated or live action. Tommy, I'm going to let you start the ball with this one.
Awesome. Thank you. First up, I got the 1978 Superman, directed by Richard Donner. The budget of $55 million, and believe it or not, they made gross $3 million off of this. At that time, that was the highest budget for a movie, which was $55 million. I'll give you little summaries of them. I have 3 of them, and then I'll talk about them. It's an iconic story of the Man of Steel, the origin, and his battle against the villainous Lex Luthor. The movie follows Kal-El, a baby from the planet Krypton, who was sent to Earth and adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent. As he grew up, Clark Kent, Christopher Reeve, discovers his superhuman powers and moves to Metropolis to work as a journalist, where he falls in love with Lois Lane, Margaret Kidder. However, his happiness is short-lived, and he must confront the diabolical Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman, who seeks to destroy the city and the world, leading to an epic showdown between good and evil. Now, this is one of my favorite movies. Of course, it had a star-studded cast. Christopher Reeve as Kal-El, Superman, and Clark Kent. Then you've got Margaret Kidder, which is Lois Lane. Then you got Marlon Brando, the Godfather. Hey, Kal-El is my son. Make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Then you got Gene Hackman, which was Lex Luthor. Great movie, and it's awesome because it shows actually the 3 villains that were trapped in the Phantom Zone.
Which one?
You got Zod, you got Ursa, I believe, and you got N-O-N, which was a mute who didn't speak. Yes. So, love it. The intro, like I said, the planet's about to get destroyed.
It was basically the origin of Superman.
The origin of Superman,
the book, if you read the book. Yeah. Action
comes
comic
to
one.
Metropolis, and it was great because a couple of really good scenes stick out in my mind. Especially the one when he... there was a storm, and Lois Lane was going on a helicopter, I remember, up on a building of a Daily Planet.
Yes.
I keep wanting to say Daily Bugle, but that's
another world.
That's a whole other universe. And so she's up on a helicopter, and she's launching off, and the weather's bad. And then there's a cable when they lift up.
Yes.
It snags onto the helicopter, spins around, and it crashes towards the edge of the building. And of course, Superman's coming out, and everyone's looking up. Oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? And of course, during that incident, the pilot gets a concussion and knocks out. Lois Lane, of course, takes her seatbelt off, and she's hanging from the freaking helicopter. So then it was really funny. Superman goes up to
women. Sorry.
Clark Kent
But
goes
true.
up to a phone booth because and it's like half a phone booth, so he can't turn to Superman there. I thought that was funny because in the comic and in the old movies, he used to go in the phone booth, spin around.
I know, and
come
they
out
showed
as
half of
Superman.
that phone booth.
Yeah,
It was
showed
so
half
cool.
the phone booth.
It was so cool.
So then he goes to like a building, and you know how they got the buildings, the doors that spin around that are glass?
I know, that was cool how he spun real fast.
So he
and
goes
changed
in there,
the
there's
viewpoint.
like a pimp on the side with like some chicks.
Hey, man.
He's like, yo, man, what's up? And Superman comes around, he spins around, he comes out in the suit. He's like, yo, man, that's a badass suit, brother.
Yeah, so
Woo! And
back.
he's like, 1 minute. So, of course, he goes up there, flies, and grabs Lois. And it's so cool because I love this scene. He grabs her, and he's like, don't worry, ma'am, I got you. She's like, you got me? Who's got you?
Good
So he goes
quotes.
up,
Very good
rescues her,
quotes.
takes the helicopter, places it down, places them both down. And then another scene where they go to... she's doing an interview with Superman on top of the rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking, and there's a little flirting going on. You can tell that she's like really attracted to him. So she's standing behind like this lead flower pot, like a vase thing.
Couldn't see it between his. Couldn't see his underwear.
So she's like,
underwear.
so what's the color of my underwear? She's like,
Couldn't tell.
lead is blocking it. I can't see through lead. So she walked around, and he's like, pink. She's like, well, oh, my panties.
That was his, but that was kind of his mistake to reveal his weakness so early in that movie. And then
Yeah.
Luthor
Well,
used
she
it
was
against
writing the
him.
story about
I
it.
know, but like you don't blurt out. Oh, I can't see through a lead pot of plants, you know, because that gives everybody, the whole world, access to that weakness, and that's how Luthor got
Then
it.
after the part, she's like, do you like pink? I was like, yeah, man, we love some pink. So anyway,
Love the pink.
moving on. So, the movie goes on. Gene Hackman, which is Lex Luthor,
Yes.
he confronts Superman. He ends up showing him he shows him his plans of what he's going to do. He's going to launch a couple rockets, destroy
So
California.
confident. That's how smart he was, because
Yeah.
it was a foolproof plan until
He's going to
Superman.
destroy California towards the end, and he's launched another rocket towards I believe, a waterfall or
And
a
he,
dam.
he was also the first to figure out the whole kryptonite being another weakness
Yes.
to Superman. So
he confronts
and
him.
access it.
Superman goes to his little man cave that's in the tunnels of the trains.
Yes.
And then he puts this chain on him with this big rock kryptonite, throws him in a swimming pool,
Smart
and
way
he's
to stop him.
drowning. And then
Miss
Gene Hackman's
Bummer or whatever her name was.
Miss-
Miss Chessbucker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I destroyed the name, but that name was like, huh?
yeah, it was a little weird.
It woke me up. Anyway.
So she ends up helping him get out, and he's like, so he gets out there. Superman ends up redirecting one of the missiles,
Yes.
and then the other one actually hits and causes an earthquake.
Earthquakes.
And then Lois, this part gets me all the time. This was back in '78. I couldn't be in more than 10. So they're driving, and there's this earthquake, dude, and then it opens up. And on the road where she's driving, the car freaking goes in, and while Superman's trying to get the other rocket, launches it out to space or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he gets there, and the freaking the ground opens up, and her car falls in there, and of course all the sand and dirt and everything where
She
the road that
dies
she's
from
on, and she
suffocation.
dies.
Yeah.
So he hears her, and he gets there, and he digs her out, puts the car down, and he takes her out, and she's gone. And he's like just enraged, man.
I have to say this.
Yep.
In my list, that was
Yep.
my number one movie too.
Yes.
And, but I'm going to join you on this.
Oh, cool.
I do have that one problem. It was the perfect movie.
Yes.
It won an Academy Award for Best Visual, and I think that deserved. I
Dude,
think it should have
Christopher
been more.
Reeve
The actors
nailed
were
it.
nailed. But my problem with
Nailed
this movie, even though I say it's number one compared to the whole rest of my list, was that scene right after she dies, and he's so angry and he starts flying in the air and he hears his both fathers. About it's forbidden for him to interfere, and
Yeah,
his
to do
father
it.
wanted him to use his powers responsibly, and all of a sudden he does this like the Flash, like he just literally slows the earth, reverses time, and by reversing time, I didn't understand what he did because we go back on Earth, he resets it, lets it rotate, and the earthquake didn't happen. She's in her car and she's safe, and my first reaction was, how did he go? Did he go back in time and just stopped it from happening?
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that happened.
He
off
reversed the
camera.
axis of the Earth, and he
Right.
went back in time to make everything happen where it didn't. Where
it
she
didn't
fall
happen?
into, where she didn't fall into the thing. and
So
die.
So basically, there was more scenes to it that probably was cut out for the movie. Maybe?
No, there was just him going around the Earth to make it go back in time, as opposed to going. forward.
I'm gonna hop in for a second. So prior to, let's say the 70s, right? The idea of time travel didn't work. Where if you went back in time, you cause a multiverse of like the cause and effect was different, right? So in that movie, he's just spinning around the world so fast that time is moving in one of two directions. There is no alternate universe, there is no multiverse. So by spinning around, he is resetting that one timeline to go backwards. Exactly.
But
Hold on. Let me turn on your mic. Damn it!
My bad.
There you go.
All right, so he resets. So he goes back, brings it back in time to that moment.
Yep.
Yes.
But usually, to prevent it from happening for an alternate universe, wouldn't he have gone into that world and try to prevent the earthquake from actually happening the second time?
Technically, yes, but we're not going to think too hard about it.
I don't know. I think I would have thought too
Again,
hard.
it's a movie, so I
But
mean,
when you involve time travel,
you take it
follow
with
that rule.
You
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you take it with a grain of salt.
Right, grain
Like
of salt.
I said, overall, the movie was great. Superman stops Lex.
Yes,
Goes to jail.
it's a great movie.
Really, really great movie. And again, Christopher Reeve nailed the part.
Agree.
And I like it because 1978 Superman, it set like the foundation for other movies to come, which was really, really, really good.
And fun fact, to this day, there's only one person who played Superman the best, Christopher Reeve. I mean, there's probably a debate in there on this, but in my eyes, I mean, no respect to Henry Cavill or Brandon Routh or anybody who's playing Superman from here on out, or even the past before
The
that.
originals, the OGs, the black and white.
The black and white
screen,
Superman,
yep.
George Reeves. There you
Yep,
go.
there you go.
But Christopher Reeves nailed it in all these 4 movies that he did as Superman. Even whether it was good or whether it sucked, he was still Superman.
I mean, you could go back and rewatch this movie, and it's, I mean, the graphics and everything, CGI is really outdated.
That's another
special
thing.
effects. But other than that, I mean, the story itself, Superman, what he stands for, hope, innocent.
And you gotta give props to the effects because they
Truth,
made you
justice, and
believe
hope.
that Superman could fly in this movie.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the first
great.
movie we ever saw anybody fly. He made that movie, the special effects visuals made us believe he can fly.
That was awesome.
So I have to say that as well.
All right.
Continue. I'm
So
sorry.
number 2, guys, is The Man of Steel from 2013, directed by
Really?
Zack Snyder.
Oh. Yeah, I gotta hear
Superhero
this
film that retains the origin of Superman, retelling of the origin of Superman movie. The movie follows Kal-El, an alien from the planet Krypton, who was sent to Earth as an infant by his parents Jor-El and Laura. From Krypton is destroyed, adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent. Kal-El grows up as Clark Kent, struggling to find his place in the world as he discovers his true identity and develops his incredible powers. He must confront the villainous General Zod and his crew, who seeks to destroy humanity, rebuilding Krypton on Earth. With the adopted father guidance and his sense of strong justice. Amazing. I thought this movie was great, even though it was a little darker, on the darker side, because, it's Zack Snyderverse.
Zack Snyder.
General Zod nailed it. The actor,
he has
star-studded cast also. You got Henry Cavill as Kal-El, Superman, Clark Kent. Then you got Amy Adams, which is Lois Lane. Michael Shannon, which is General Zod. Kevin Costner, which actually played an amazing Jonathan
Paul
Kent.
Yep.
It was great. And then you got Diane Lane as Martha Kent, and then Russell Crowe nailed it as Jor-El. The fight in the beginning of the movie where he fought Zod, and then they imprisoned Zod and the other people for treason against Krypton. Amazing, of course. They sent him to Phantom Zone 2.
They didn't offer
They didn't make
anything
him
to
an
make
offer
a
he could
refuse.
refuse.
Exactly. So
And but this movie is great. Zod comes out of Phantom Zone with his crew. They come to Earth. Henry Cavill.
there was
confronts
2 of
him.
them on this one.
Really, really great movie. I thought it was, it was a little darker.
It was dark.
Some parts of the movies that got me was Superman was younger. He rescued a bus. Remember that went over the bridge and rescued the kids that almost drowned.
Yeah.
And then fast forward when he's a little older, Jonathan Pa Kent didn't want him to reveal to the world who he was or his powers that he had. And then there was a part where there was a twist or a hurricane that came, and Jonathan Kent went to go save somebody, and he saw Clark, and Clark was going to try to help him, and he looked at him and he was like, no, and man, this part really touched me, man. Because it shows the human side, and his dad didn't want him, or his stepdad didn't want him to reveal who he was. And then he died. And then dealing with the struggles of that, he becomes a loner, goes out on his own, becomes a construction worker, whatever have you, whatever. And then he eventually confronts...
from a construction worker to a reporter.
Yeah.
I don't get that. But anyway.
Mild manner reporter, mind you.
Mild manner, exactly. As a
Daily
construction
Planet.
worker.
Yeah, Daily Planet.
I don't get it.
It was great. From Lois Lane to General Zod, the actor, Michael Shannon
Yeah.
killed it, man. Owned that role as General Zod.
Oh yeah,
and
he
I
was
liked
more
it.
scary than than
and they brought him back
Terrence
in
Stamp.
Flash and Batman. Remember
Yes,
in the
yes,
Flash
they did.
movie? Loved him. He was great, a little older, but still great.
I know he was very intimidating in the Flash movie. He was also intimidating in Man of Steel. I think he did a pretty good job being more intimidating than Terrence Stamp.
So you are a general. And who is your superior?
I answer only to the president.
And he will answer to me.
I think Terrence Stamp did a lot more. Like he would threaten you, less words.
So this is Planet Houston.
He's General Zod.
So either way, they were both
just his mere
intimidating.
presence, like.
But this
on
guy
the
just
scenes,
looked at you
just on the
and
scenes
you were like,
of him
"Fuck."
being there. He just like took those scenes, every scene he took.
Exactly. So.
And of course, he fights. The movie gets deeper. I'm not gonna tell you everything about it, but
No
it gets to
spoilers.
the end where he confronts Zod and he handles him, takes him out, and then that sets up Batman and Superman from the Zack Snyderverse. My third movie is the 2011 anime All-Star Superman. This movie.
Wow.
I know I threw you guys a curveball,
Way curved.
but just hear me out. Just hear me out.
You gotcha. Go ahead.
The movie is based on the comic book series by the same name by Grant Morrison and Frank. Was it Quarterly? Quietly. Superman stops a clone of that Lex Luthor put on a ship, and Superman instead gets an overdose of radiation, which slowly kills him.
Oh.
Luthor gets arrested and sentenced to death. Superman reveals his true identity to Lois Lane and takes her to the Fortress of Solitude, where he creates a potion, or like a serum, where she drinks it and she becomes superhero so she could see how Superman through his eyes.
Yeah.
Then she helps him fight attack from a group called the Crow in Metropolis. Guess who shows up? Samson and Atlas, of course. Why not? And Superman ends up fighting them, and he has a double arm wrestle match against him and beats him. It's great. I just thought it was really cool.
Okay.
So later, Superman takes a city of Kandor, which was shrunken. I believe Brainiac shrunk it.
Yes.
So he takes it and he goes away. And they even did it was really, really good. Again, the story in the comics to the anime.
It's very
the anime is
similar.
amazing. So Superman goes away and he thinks it's going to take him a couple weeks, but no, it takes him months because he's dying slowly, so he can't use his powers to max how he, flies and all that, strength and all that. So he goes and he comes back, and guess what? When he comes back, he finds out that Metropolis has tech from Krypton. The reason why it has tech because he takes away Bar-El and Lilo from his planet. Check it out. They are Krypton's first astronauts and Superman's relatives protecting the Earth. But they got sick from a kryptonite poison. I'm not sure how it happened, but they got sick. So Superman took them and put them in to the Phantom Zone.
So much for the last son of Krypton. There's a lot of Kryptonians.
Yeah, dude, it's
kidding.
crazy, man.
Well, they all died with all this Kryptonian poison.
Yeah,
that's
like,
going on.
what the
They
hell?
come near Earth, all of a sudden they brought a piece of rock with them, and they're dying.
So then, Lex gets a hold of the serum. So of course he takes it and he's going on a rampage, kicking everybody's butt. And of course Superman's dying slowly. So the cool thing about the serum is you have to drink it within 24 hours. So Superman had another one after Lex took one initially.
Right.
So Superman had it in his hand. And Lex is like, what are you doing, man? No, don't get it. And Superman shoots it with his heat vision and destroys it. So Lex turns normal again. And he ends up going to jail. Yeah. After
That's
24 hours, that's
Luthor.
it.
That's
all you get.
Luthor.
I should be dead. Thanks, Happy Pill.
You could be a superhero for 24 hours. So,
Compound V, anyone?
Right? Wrong show.
So he destroys it, and the part that really got me again, this stuff always gets me. I love it when they humanize Superman. Of course, it's Superman, and he's actually alien man because he's not from this planet.
Right.
Well, anyway, he looks like a human, so Superman. Anyway, he looks like a man.
So was it like animated or?
Oh, anime. This is from the anime cartoon, 2011.
okay.
So at the end, Superman, you could see some of his body like shining, like bright light coming from him because he's dying. The radiation's coming through him.
Right.
So he fights this big creature. I forgot the name of the creature. Well, anyway,
Was it
I'll have to-
Doomsday?
No, it was a creature that turned the sun blue. But regardless, Superman, before he truly, went and died, he kissed Lois Lane and he told her, he said, "I love you," and she says, "I love you too." He kissed her, and he goes up to the sun and he sacrificed himself to the sun to turn the sun from blue back to yellow again. Well, anyway, to sum it all up, It was very good, and I like to see stuff where it kind of humanized Superman. Of course, he's got his kryptonite. He's got heat vision. He can blow, freeze you, blah blah blah. But I like to see that stuff where he's more grounded. You know what I mean?
Take away the powers. What do you have?
From the movie, like I said, it started. He met Lois, told her about him, made her a superhero, fought freaking Lex. And then at the end, he sacrificed himself, and for the hope and the goodness of, because he sacrificed
And
himself.
you put that on number 3 before Man of Steel. That's interesting. Okay.
Yep. So we went 1, 2, 2, 3, and 1. And what you got, Pete?
Well, my list is going to be a little bit different too. Number 1 was Superman from 1978. 100% agree with you. We talked about it already. So
Your number 1 or your number 3?
That's my number 1.
Number 1.
Why are you going backwards?
I would go backwards, but he took the number 1 from me, and I didn't want to. I want to I already talked about it. Enough said. So yeah. I'll go to
Great
number
movie.
3 if it
Great
makes
movie.
you feel better. No, actually, I'll go number 2. I'm going to go backwards.
All right.
Rest in peace, Christopher Reeve.
Number 2, you said Man of Steel. I'm like totally against you on this one. I would say Superman 2.
Okay.
So this is Planet Houston.
It's just like Superman 1. It was the awesome sequel. The villains got out of the Phantom Zone. They had powers like Superman.
All 3 of them.
It was the first time in 79.
79.
It was the first time we saw Superman fight somebody who had the same powers as he did.
Not only was 1, it was 3.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to go back in time, like in the 70s when we saw the cartoons and everything. Superman was always perceived as too powerful.
It's overpowered. Yeah.
Yes, and then all of a sudden that movie came out, and all of a sudden you have villains who were just as powerful as he, and like Superman was like on a run. Like that whole fight scene first in Metropolis and then in the Fortress of Solitude, amazing fight. Superman looked like he was like
they were going at it,
like in a boxer ring, and he was like in the corner trying to get out. And it was a very good movie. I thought it was told great. The fact that he was testing his humanity and wanted to turn human, just go to the level lowest and everything like that. And then he ended up getting his powers back to realize it was a mistake because he has to stop Zod and them and everything. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a great movie. It should be my number 1. But again, it's how you beat the villains that makes me bring you down. And he took them out in the fortress, and there's no explanations, other than the fact that they all turned human. And he did them up. He just did them up. And Luthor was good. He was comical, but he was also very smart. I'll give him props for that.
Gene Hackman.
And it was a really good movie, and that's why I would say it's number 2. It was also a fun fact that Richard Donner was Richard Donner, the director. Mm-hmm. Yep. He was fired as he was making this movie, and this other guy, Richard Lester, continued to direct it. So you don't see too much of a skip of a beat in this movie. So I was very impressed by that. However, Donner, he should have stayed on it. Warner Bros. Your fault. Anyway, it was a great movie. I put that in my number 2, and then going into my number 3, which I'm gonna flip
real
my
quick,
pages.
I got a fun fact about Superman number 2.
Yeah,
Marlon Brando, which was Jor-El the dad in part 1, they cut him from all scenes from the second movie because he sued Warner Brothers. Because he wanted a piece of that fat check that they got $300 million from part 1.
And Warner Brothers
so
like,
they cut
we're not going to make no offer that we could refuse.
We're not going to give you an offer. No. And you have no choice whether to refuse it or not. So, yeah, fun fact.
Well, that is a funny fact. But that's how it is in Warner Brothers. Anyway, and my number 3, I did Chosen Animated. Hey. And this one's also going to take Pete off. Batman, Superman, Public Enemy, the animated movie.
Why would that make me mad?
Because I don't know. He says
it's got Batman in it.
Because you think there's better ones. I don't know, but
I love that one. What are you talking about?
It was directed by Sam Liu. It's the best part about it is the cast. Hear me out.
Okay.
Tim Daly returned as Superman. If you know Tim Daly and all these actors, they were in the animated series that came out in the 90s from Warner Brothers, from Channel 11, if you remember. So Tim Daly returns as Superman. My boy Kevin Conroy came back as Batman. Clancy Brown came back as Lex Luthor. And CCH Pounder returned as Amanda Waller.
Wow.
So you had like a star cast all returning. No one knew this, but they returned to reenact the voices of these characters. It was an adaptation of Public Enemy, the book from Batman, Superman 1 through 6. It was written by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. Let me tell you something. The writer's awesome.
The art was sick.
The artist, Ed McGuinness, oh my God, cartooning, but like
Sweet.
spot on. And you can compare it to like the anime series. It was that close, but McGinnis had a better on it.
He nailed it.
He nailed it.
He nailed it. Shout out.
It was a team up to stop a meteorite from hitting Earth while dealing with Lex Luthor, who was the president of the United States, while he deemed them enemy of the states. So they had like a double situation. You got like an Armageddon situation happening coming down to Earth, and you got your Superman's biggest villain is president of the United States, and he's gonna you're trying to help Earth, and you got this guy telling you no, you need to go to jail. It's like it was a good storyline.
It was really, really good. Very well written.
It was very well written. Superman was in a really good spot. They're fighting villains as well as heroes.
Yep.
So those were a very good matchup. Not gonna spoil who and who, but I'll tell you one thing. It was very entertaining to watch. The ending was phenomenal. I was very happy to see it as an animated movie. Shout out to Sam Louie who directed it, and shout out to the writers from the comic as well.
Really good, really good.
So I thought that was my number 3, and
That's not bad. You did.
no
That was
honorable
great.
mentions.
That was sick. Nice.
So there you go.
Nice.
Awesome, gentlemen. Okay, so we actually spent quite a lot of time on the movies, so we're going to jump right into segment 2, which, Tommy, if you're cool with it, I'm going to let my father start this one off because I know you presented something cool for me for the narration. Dad, I'm going to let you go right onto this. So the question is a rapid fire. So the segment is Doomsday and General Zod have attacked Earth. Superman is nowhere to be found. Name 2 Superman-like characters to take them both on. The qualifications must include they must have similar abilities to Superman and must have either won against Superman or have teamed up with him in the past. Go ahead, start us off.
Okay. Well, based on those parameters, I'm just going to explain a little bit, and I'll explain why. So, 2 heroes or 2 superheroes from the DC universe who can
Or
stop
villains.
Doomsday and General Zod, which is a very nasty, potent combination. Woo. So, Superman's not around. Who am I going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Who you gonna call Pete?
Anyway, Shazam. Captain Marvel from the DC universe. I think he has the similar powers of Superman. His power is magical as well, so it would help stop Zod. He also might get into a fight with Doomsday as well. But if Superman can't stop him, maybe Shazam could. But he's gonna need some help. So it was very hard to navigate as to who would help him. And because it's Shazam, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Black Adam.
Hey, I didn't
Black
even think of
Adam,
that. That's
similar
sick.
powers. You got,
Nice.
but he's
Why not?
more vicious than Captain Marvel. So I think that's what you need to take down Doomsday.
I think if anyone could take Doomsday down or give him a good battle, it'd probably be Black Adam.
Exactly. Granted, we all die if they're fighting on the street because if he's not going to save them.
You've abused your power. Silence, boy.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick. I actually think that's brilliant for a totally different reason. Because Superman and all Kryptonians' weakness is magic. Yeah. So Zod's finished with whatever one you put up against. But now here's the thing. Doomsday, in most of the comic book adaptations, his DNA is made from Kryptonians, so he also should fall to magic. So I'm not gonna lie, that was brilliant.
Them teaming up, bro.
There you go. I got a field goal.
The Marvel fanboy did something for DC. Look at that.
Yeah, see,
Pedro Wayne
represent. But
Pedro Wayne.
As I do with everything, we have to throw in a curveball here.
Oh.
I also answered this list if it was non-DC, so
I see your
consider
face.
this an honorable mention. Ready? So if this was happening in Marvel, I would call the Hulk to go one-on-one with Doomsday.
And my mom.
And the Silver Surfer to take on Zod.
Oh,
so there you go. Something to think on that. Now, if it's neither Marvel or DC, then I'm going to call 2 people to take them out both down. Ready? Omni-Man from Invincible. Oof. And Homelander from The Boys.
You got spunk for an old man. I like that.
Well, you're a cocky prick, and I loathe you.
Enough said.
Nice.
Mic dropped.
Nice. That's sick, dude. That's
Top,
great.
it's all you now.
All right, guys, I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to throw the layup to Pete.
Which I will read through it quick because we're
kind of pressed for time.
Yeah.
Again, Shazam, which was mine. Shazam actually is short for acronym. of Solomon, which is S, the biblical king. It represents wisdom. H for Hercules, the demigod from the Greek mythology that represents strength. Atlas, the Titan, Greek mythology, who represents stamina. Zeus, the god who represents power. Achilles, the hero from Greek mythology who represents courage. Mercury, the Roman god of speed. Now, I chose him, and I also chose Devastator from the Dark Knight Metal tie-in. Real quick about Devastator, I'll sum him up. Superman on Earth 1 goes rogue. Batman tries to stop him, has his spear, of course, with Kryptonite on it. He's going at it with him. They're going at it, and Batman's getting his ass handed to him. When I tell you, he's getting his ass handed to him. Oh. So Superman's standing above him, and the scene is sick. He goes, so everyone keeps telling me how this will turn out between you and me. He goes, I can freeze your heart with my breath. I can cut you in half with my freaking heat vision. So Batman picks up the spear and is about to charge him with the kryptonite on top.
Right.
And just as he does it, Superman cuts his freaking arm right off, dude. So Batman falls to the ground. But see, Batman's no idiot. I'm sure he prepped for this, just like any other fight. He always goes to his trusty utility belt, clicks it, and he injects a
Doomsday
virus onto himself. So therefore becoming Doomsday. And when I tell you he takes it to Superman, grounds and pounds him MMA style, beats him down, and blows a kryptonite mist into his face, which all these spikes end up coming out of Superman's body, and he kills him. Sick. There's more to it, but I'm not going to get to it. But ladies, we have a special segment for you, which we got P in the house, and I love his narration. I wrote a little quick story, and I would love for him to read it to you. Again, Devastator, Batman, which has the mind of Batman, mind you. Shazam, which has similar powers to Superman, and he has magic, which is harmful to Zod.
Interesting choices.
All right, P.
All right, so Tommy took his sweet time writing this awesome story that I'm just going to read to you guys in this scenario. So here's a graphic and intense battle scene. Picture this. The skies turn dark as two titans clash in a frenzy of fists and energy bolts. Shazam has his eyes blazing with lightning. Faced off against General Zod, who has heat vision scorch the air. Batman's Devastator, his bones portrays sharp as knives, charges at Doomsday. The monster roars, thundering throughout the streets. Zod unleashes a blast of heat vision, but Shazam counters with a lightning bolt, striking the Kryptonian general with incredible force. Devastator, meanwhile, slammed into Doomsday. Their strength evenly matched as they exchanged blow that shook the earth. The battle rages on, the four warriors trading attacks in a maelstrom of violence. Zod's eyes bludgeoned as Shazam's lightning bolt struck him again and again. Shazam not only hits Zod, with all he has, he unleashes intense magic upon him. While Devastator's kryptonite-tipped bones sliced through Doomsday's flesh like razors as Devastator fights Doomsday. Not only does he has all the strength of Doomsday, but he also has the mind of Bruce Wayne. Doomsday's roars turns to a scream as Devastator's bones pierced his heart. But the monster refused to fall. Zod his strength, warning, unleashing a despised blast of heat vision that Shazam's counters with a bolt of lightning, striking the general with enough force to shatter his skull. As Zod crumbled, Devastator seizes Doomsday's throat. He grips like a vice. The monster's eyes blurred and roar. Silence as Devastator's bones pierce his brain. With a final, brutal twist, Devastator ends Doomsday's reign of terror. The streets lay in ruin. The two victors stand amongst the carnage. Shazam's lightning bolt still crackling with energy, while Devastator's bones gleam with the deadly sheen. Their bond and determination has saved the world from destruction, but at what cost? I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of badass. I actually could really picture that fight.
I felt that.
Yeah.
That was dope, man.
All right, guys, we're gonna go right on to very, very good job, both of you. I'm actually thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not bad, repeat.
That was awesome. I like to read.
So, segment 3 is gonna pop up to us. So, segment 3 is your all-time best Superman comic book issue. Housekeeping rules. There must only be one issue. I don't want to hear any honorable mentions. I'm going to start this off with Pedro. Go on for it.
You what?
No, you go.
I'll go. Okay, I'll take it.
All
right, I'll take it. All right, no honorable mentions. Keyword. Okay, so here we go.
Gee, I wonder who that's for.
All-time best Superman issue, and let's see if anybody can agree with me or not. Superman Annual 11.
11.
Writer Alan Moore, artist Dave Gibbon. Those names sounds familiar. I'll give you a hint. Watchmen. They were together for the storyline The Man Who Has Everything. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Robin on Superman's birthday. They got him a gift. They were trying to figure out what they wanted to give him. But as they go to the Fortress of Solitude, they bump into Superman, who has a parasitic flower.
Oh, yes.
And it put Superman in like a state of euphoria, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And
a dream state.
It was a dream state.
Yeah.
And it was created by Mongo, who gave it to him to attack him while he was down. And they end up having this big battle trying to bring Superman back. And basically, while he was in that euphoria, he's in this world where everything Superman ever wanted in life.
As he
family, growing up, everybody was on, it felt like Earth, but it was Krypton. Yep. And it was everything he should have had.
A wife and a child. I remember that.
Yes, that's it. Fight it, Clark. Fight it. Fight it.
Dad! Dad! You've got to look at this. What's the matter? Why are you...
Van, when you were born, it was the happiest day of my life. When I first saw your beautiful little face, your tiny fingers squeezed my hand so tight, like you never wanted to let go. I've watched every step, every struggle. But Van, Rao, help me. But I don't think you're real. I don't think any of this is real.
Don't say that, Daddy. Please, you're scaring me.
No, I don't want to scare you, Van. You are everything I ever wanted in a son. This is everything I ever wanted in a life. But I've got responsibilities, Van. And I have to go now.
Once it came off him, and it just pissed Superman off so bad to hear he went after Mongo and beat the crap out of him. I thought it was told like
didn't
like
he
a symphony.
even through the, like you said, through the parasite, didn't he see his world get destroyed?
Yeah, towards the end of it. That was just when the parasite was coming out. But crazy. I just thought it was like one of Alan Moore's best story. Like it was a symphony, a love story of Superman that he did. And it was like to me, it was one of his best stories. Honest to God, I never read Superman when I was younger. I got into it older, but like it was sporadic because Superman is too strong, too powerful. But I did on occasion, based on rumors, as it was coming out, picked up certain books. And that book, Annual 11, was really told very well. It was like a love story for Superman. And, it was really good. And that was the number one story. That's all I can say about it.
Nice. That was nice, man. Alan Moore, man, he's nice.
Alan Moore, Gibson is a beast,
He's a beast.
Then which came out? Superman Annual 11 before Watchmen.
Yes.
So this was a precursor to Watchmen. So
just shows you the skills of the pen of Alan.
Exactly.
He's genius. Mine's, of course, is Superman 75. Black poly bag. It had the Superman logo, which was bleeding on it, and inside it was sealed. It had a I'll just read about it. The Death of Superman, written by and penciled by Dan Jurgen, inks by Brett Breeding. 1993 sealed black poly bag with a blood red Superman logo on the cover. Landmark comic issue that marks a significant event of the Superman mythos. Here's the summary. And it opens up Superman's allies, Justice League. They're battling the monstrosities, Doomsday. Doomsday's just taking it to them all. They're all getting their butts handed to them. Right. And it's cool because in this comic, it goes from single each page is a panel. It's not like cutting squares or anything. Each page is a panel, and then you have your splash pages. The first one he's fighting Doom, and these guys are going at it. Superman knows that. Listen, I gotta go all out, or that's it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's gonna die. So they're throwing blows for blows, and one scene where they punch and they shatter like all the glass in the windows behind them, like in a building. Just going at it. Superman's cut. Doomsday's cutting them, and it looks like as Superman's fighting, the stronger he's getting, and then more bones keep protruding out of his body.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember that.
So, I mean, it's amazing, and then it gets to the point where Superman goes to Lois, and he's like, I know what needs to be done, and again, courage, hope, everything you want in a hero. And to see this back in 1993, I brought the book off the shelf. It just shook, man. I'm like, wow. He kisses Lois, tells her I love you, and he goes flies to Doomsday, and they're going at it. They're just exchanging blows, and then one final blow, he hits Doomsday, cracks his neck. Doomsday falls, Superman falls. Lois goes up to him, and then that scene where she's like holding him, his cape is all up and everything, and Jimmy's there with the camera, and everyone's crying, and Lois is holding him, and she's like, hold on, and he was like, is everyone safe? And everything's good.
Is everyone...
You did it, Superman. We're safe. All of us.
Good. That's all that matters.
And he was like, yeah, and he's like, good, and then he died. I mean, just to see Superman die was just crazy. And not only that, it was huge in the news. You're talking media, newspapers, television. It was
everybody had to get a copy. Everybody.
Then it led into the funeral for a friend, the Death of Superman storyline. And believe it or not, they had up to 10 to 15 printings after the initial first printing. First printing was in 1993. First print in January 93, and they believe the second print in January 93 too. Third print was February, and then the fourth was 1993 also.
That single issue broke a lot of records.
And this book sold, when I tell you, amazing. And then the teams that worked on it. But that's my my number one all-time book is Superman 75. I actually have it autographed from Terrificon.
Terrificon, that's right.
I got it autographed by Jerry Ordway. Shout out Jerry Ordway. Can't wait to get up with you. Brett Breeding and Dan Jurgens, they all tagged it. Great, and I think I got Lois Simonson on there to write it too.
Really?
No, I don't think she did it.
She did one of the issues.
She did one of the other issues. Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. There you go.
Correct. But like I said, 75. It's close to home, man.
It was.
All right, I'm good with that, man.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. We're going to be moving on over to segment 4. This will be your favorite Superman costume / variant. This may include alternate universe versions. So whoever wants to start, I will let you guys pick this one first.
Go for it.
All right, guys. My favorite. There's so many to choose from, and I don't have any honorable mentions. I mean, everything from Kingdom Come Superman, the Superman with the white suit in the future. Actually, Superman Beyond, which is, how they have Batman Beyond. They have Superman Beyond, which was pretty cool. I like that logo.
I like that too.
I'm gonna make that shirt, and I actually made this shirt. My first appearance is actually the one shirt I'm wearing. It's the Regeneration Superman, which happened during the reign of Superman, where Superman returned. It was the black suit with the silver logo, Volume 2 of Superman, number 78 from 1993. Amazing. Dan Jurgens again, Brett Breeding, and that's my my favorite suit. For some reason, I like it. Superman got long hair. He looks like Fabio. He's all jacked. He's got these tights on. He's got these stretchy pants. He's got the little stretchy gear. He's doing yoga, and he's got long hair, and he's got this nice metal thing. Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. And then he comes back because he's in this orb, the Generation suit. The sun heals him again, and he comes back after the death of Doomsday. Yeah. What you got, Pete?
That was your number one?
That was my number one. I got no honorable mentions.
No, this is a top 5 list.
It was 5?
No, it's not a top 5.
No, Pete, not at all.
Was it? Oh, okay then.
No. But if you got 5,
I got 5.
See what you got, Pete.
I'll throw them at you then.
That's what I said. There's other ones.
There's other ones.
Some ones I like, but
Well, my number one has always been the regular costume.
Okay.
If you guys make you feel any better, Keith on Twitch says the recovery suit with the body lords were sick. So there you go. You have an agreeer.
There you go.
Thanks, that's my era when I was really, really, really collecting and into comics.
Well, mine was the original, the regular costume.
OG?
Yep. It really highlighted during John Byrne's run when he did Man of Steel, the first issue, because that rendition was always the rendition of Superman in the cartoons, growing up, the movie. So, it's the same thing to me.
Well,
so.
Speaking on that, I'll just tell you a fun fact. Back in 86, when he relaunched the series,
yes.
they actually toned Superman down because there was no villains that could fight him.
That's my
he was
point.
so beyond powerful, and this, I believe, was after Post-Crisis.
Post-Crisis, yes.
Great. John Byrne.
So that's why I was very amazed that he kept the look. Even after Crisis, they could have changed it. Now, over the years, I say in the last 20 years, they kept changing it over the years. And they just keep revamping it. Yeah. So to me, I missed the old way.
That's a nice choice, man.
Thank you. Number 2, Kingdom Comes Superman.
Oh, man.
Come on. The way it looked and it was
just... Looked like an S somewhat?
Yes. It looked different. It looked like Ross, the opposite of the original. So I kind of enjoyed it. Alex Ross drew it. Painter. He's the man. I love his artwork.
Alex Ross.
Mark Waid did the storyline for Kingdom Come, but that's beside the point. But it had like a Ultra Superman with a black on the S. Similar to the regenerative Superman. Mm-hmm. 3... I like the Red Sun Superman costume with the Russian logo instead of the S.
Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union, my bad. Oh, God, gotta get political.
You think you're going to stop me with that?
Tomatoes.
He also had a small collar similar to this one.
And it had the logo on it, too. Yeah.
And he rules with force in the Soviet Union at the time.
I actually think the program we're using, I think they have a model for that. Let me look real quick.
Go ahead, take your time. I'll go to number 4 while he's looking for it. The number 4, it's controversial, so that's why I'm going to bring up while he's looking. There he goes. Yes. The Russian Superman, in case everybody never saw it, that is phenomenal.
You think he's mad?
He's Soviet, so of course, he wants
we don't
communism.
Have toilet paper.
He was pro-communism in the book, so.
Oh, toilet paper's rough. My hemorrhoids.
His hemorrhoids. So that, I'm glad you're bringing back the original.
Number 52. Let's talk about.
No, only because it's American.
Sun lamps, wonderful. Let them burn for a few thousand years, and I might get. Impossible.
Anyway, number 4, the Superman blue and red costume, the electrical costume, both of them. I put them both together.
That was pretty cool.
It was a cool new power, electrical work look.
It was a glow-in-the-dark cover, too, by Dan Jurgens. No, Ron Frenz.
It was Ron Frenz and Dan Jurgens, both of them. Ron Frenz did the red one, and Dan Jurgens did the blue. So.
Ron and all his friends.
All his friends. Like Superman. And then the last one, number 5, Tommy touched on it before, the Superman Beyond costume from Batman Beyond. Yes. Have you seen the cartoon?
It's pretty cool,
It's so slick the way the S looks. And, he was also scary. It kind of reminded me of Kingdom Come.
White.
But it was a good look.
Nice choice, man.
Thank you. So that's my my top 5. No honorable mentions because,
You surprised me.
I'm being good on that.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
You surprised me, man. Good job, man.
Try.
All right, gentlemen, we have about, we have about 15-ish minutes left in the show. So we're going to go right into our final 2 segments. Segment 5 is your top 3 Superman storylines for housekeeping purposes. These are standalone / non-Justice League storylines. And then follow it up with the What's Next segment, what you guys want to see next come from Superman, and whether it's comics, movies, whatever, and whatever you guys want to talk about. Who wants to start this one off?
First? All right, well, 3 storylines that blew my mind. I'm going to start at 3. Batman, Superman, the Supergirl from Krypton.
Oh.
You broke my one rule!
Hold on, but let me explain this situation.
I'm glad he follows the rules.
I'm glad I follow the rules, right?
Yeah. It's not like I write an itinerary or anything.
But as you hear, you're going to find out it's more just about Superman.
Rules are meant to be broken.
It's a little bit broken, but hear me out. It was a gray area. So hear me out.
Turner, baby.
It was written by Jeff Loeb and Michael Turner, the book, the story, in issue Superman Batman 8 to 13.
Too soon.
Yeah, I know. Michael Turner was awesome. It was awesome artwork, by the way. So let me just stop right there. It was in issue 8 to 13 of Batman Superman. It was about Supergirl being introduced into this new universe. I think the New 52 or whatever.
They brought her back,
And she didn't have the memory of what happened. It was like broken memory, and it was up to Superman to help her to remember. Mm-hmm. And she wanted her to, be just like Clark, be Superman, and live that secret identity stuff. And he was actually talking about Wonder Woman and those Paradise Amazons to help train her and teach her stuff.
Remember they fought Doomsdays?
And
an army of Doomsdays.
It was an army of Doomsday, but it was all a test.
Yeah.
And she struggled a little bit about how she was living. She wanted to live the life of an Earthling, shopping and all stuff like that. Batman was very back off, even though he didn't believe in her, like who she was or anything like that. Later on, what do you call it? Darkseid shows up. He's the one who was responsible for bringing her back, and he was trying to control her to help her take over Earth.
It's cool because they made her like an evil
version
of her.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and Superman was so he was struggling in the storyline because this is his cousin, family that he was always trying to protect, trying to look out for. And here comes Darkseid, and you know how level fight wise, Darkseid's technically a little more stronger than Superman, but they were having some nasty fights. And Wonder Woman was involved, and she got her ass kicked and everything like that. But the fact that Supergirl had to make a choice, and it was a very good choice for her on which side she would pick. And in the end, Superman saved her. I think, in my eyes, she did the right decision, but I think it was Superman who saved her to the whole storyline. It shows you that family will always be there for you, even when it's a tough times. And that's what touched me about the storyline. And that's why I picked that book. I know Batman's in the title. It's a Justice League thing.
Yeah, but I see where you're coming from.
But
even though it's Batman and Superman, but
it
the
was
majority
still
of the story was about
Superman.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I thought that was a really good storyline.
I see how you bend it.
I remember reading it, and it was I had to get the next issue. Michael Turner was awesome.
Turner.
Jeff Loeb, great writer. He's all over the place. I'll get to him next on that. But he was awesome in this, and that's why that was my 3.
Oh, nice.
Number 2, real quick, Superman Red Sun. The whole Russian thing, you can pop it up if you like. But the fact that he was in it was a what if kind of situation where Superman did not crash in Kansas, he crashed in the Soviet Ukraine,
Mother Russia,
and he was raised like Stalin.
Yes,
believing to the whole communism and everything
60s,
like that. Yeah, it was like the 50s or 60s.
50s, 60s.
And
guys, it was the 40s.
40s.
Sorry, that
40s and 50s.
I forgot.
Except if you round it off, it's like the 40s.
40s, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so basically, over the year, because there was a lot. Every issue was a time jump, and it just became like Russia became the superpower, and the United States was not going to catch up to it. And they even went to Lex Luthor, who was the smartest man on the earth, to try to upstage him and show that America is the power of the superpower. So it became a whole political issue, and the go back and forth.
Didn't Lex create like an ultra man?
He created Bizarro. It was like Bizarro.
So you want to go to the flea market? We don't have Superman. We got Ultra Blizzard. What was his name?
It was a bootleg. It was Bizarro.
Hold on, guys. Nubplex, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Guys, following helps us out a hell of a lot. Twitch.tv/PevGamer.
Not Bizarro.
Sorry, continue.
Awesome.
It wasn't Bizarro. It was like Ultraman or Ultra Superman.
He looked like Bizarro. He died in the end.
Yeah.
In the end of that storyline, the Superman that we thought we had for USA died. But it just showed us how it was. Everybody was starting to join the communist world instead of the free world.
Yeah. And there was a Batman there too. Right?
It was a Russian Batman. I thought that was the best part because his origin took place in Russia. His family was killed. He survived.
Yeah, that was
comes back later on. He's fighting all the Russian government. Stalin dies at one point.
Lois gives the Superman all.
Well, she was married to Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
in this
she
world.
gives all the information to Superman, and it opens his eyes to see what's really going behind the scenes. It was really good.
It was.
Gentlemen, I'll leave it up to you if you guys want to answer this, but this is really cool. So, Numplex, who just joined on Twitch, he's posing a question for both of you guys to ask. Who would win in a battle between Dr. Manhattan and Superman at their peak, and give a why?
First, I wouldn't have Superman go. I'd get Superman Prime. If you ever get a chance, look up the Wikipedia or information on Superman Prime. If anyone can go toe-to-toe, not toe-to-toe, but anyone could give somewhat of a fight, it would be that version of Superman, which he comes from his own planet. He's the only hero from that planet. And but Dr. Manhattan, what can I say? He's got a really big blue schlong, and he's mad powerful, and you need like a god, almost pretty much like someone on a god level.
From
you need like a god level person to fight him. So out of Superman at his peak, I don't think he
You think Manhattan just
Manhattan,
slaughters him?
Yeah, I think in long term he.
It wouldn't even be a fist-to-fist fight.
No,
he could just literally wave his hand and Superman would just disintegrate.
All right, so you know what? Though I'll spice up the question: Superman Prime or Dr. Manhattan?
I'd go Prime.
Superman Prime beats Dr. Manhattan.
You gotta see this guy.
I disagree,
but see, the thing about Prime is, once he gets his, because of course he's from the sun.
Okay.
Immune to kryptonite, so you can't use kryptonite or anything against him. Can't use magic because none of that was on his planet that hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, anyway, Superboy Prime is he's next level powerful, but as he uses his power, like long term stamina, it doesn't. It like lowers down as he fights. So if Superboy Prime was to take him out, he'd have to take him out quick.
If it gets physical.
But Dr. Manhattan from a distance could blink his eyes.
Blink an eye, and that's it.
And make him disappear.
You know.
I mean, you need a god to go against him.
Superman Prime isn't impervious to magic or any kind of force that can make him disintegrate. So I would still say Dr. Manhattan. Hands down. I mean, there was a recent book called Doomsday Clock. Or Doomsday, I think it was called?
Doomsday Clock, you're right.
Yeah, it was Doomsday Clock, where they merged the Watchmen universe into the DC universe for a short time, and Dr. Manhattan was behind the whole like crossover, what was going on with with their universe. But apparently he had a chance to meet Superman, and he did. And Superman had no control as to how the meeting was going to take place. When Dr. Manhattan got his answer, he snapped his finger, he was gone. Like he went right back. He sent him right back.
Like I said, he's a god. I mean, yours in the big blue pee-pee. I can't touch that.
Well, that's a
You're obsessing with his pee-pee.
No, it's like I saw the movie and I was like, I know his eyes were up here, but Jesus Christ, I don't want to fight that.
Superman had the X-ray vision, so he
I show up on the Superman's like, whoa, dude, all right, you win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of here.
On.
Oh my God.
Put on a thong.
Hell yeah. Well, he did have a thong in the series.
Yeah, but in the movie it was
just too far.
Back to the
question.
Oh,
he got another
one. Hold up, we got another one.
Let's bring him.
Manhattan Omni anything? Although many consider Dr. Manhattan to be the omnipresent.
He's a god.
He's a god.
He's like a god. He's like god level. You need like the anti-monitor. You need.
He would be in that level.
Yeah, you need. Galactus would probably have a problem with him.
Yeah, Galactus. Maybe like the Living Tribunal.
That's Marvel. Try to stay in DC, but
the Beyonder. Would that be considered the same?
Yeah,
probably on the same level. Well, okay, actually, here's something even crazier to think about. The Beyonder, technically speaking, helps formulate universes, right? So, in technicality, the Beyonder would probably beat Dr. Manhattan.
Only because Dr. Manhattan doesn't know how far his power, what limits.
You know who could probably beat him too? If we're jumping Marvel, Franklin Richard could probably take him.
Well, not
now.
years though.
Not now though.
As he grows.
When he grows up.
And the Legion too, because all the the things in his mind.
Yeah, but he can't control his powers, so technically he would make a mistake. And
who better to go after a freaking big blue pee-pee man than would be Legion?
Yeah, but then
I gotta get off the pee-pee thing. Sorry guys, my bad. Pause all day on that.
Dr. Manhattan penis.
Sorry.
Anyway,
he's just powerful, man. He's a god.
He's a god, so yeah.
You need a god to fight a god. You can't just have Superman. I mean, Superman's powerful. You could probably sneak a punch in, but that's about it.
Exactly.
He can't. Manhattan
Like if Dr. Manhattan decided to let it be a physical fight, he knew he would lose.
Yeah.
But because he's so powerful like that, it doesn't even have to waste his time.
Kill him from a distance. Why get dirty? Why get dirty?
But that's a good question, though. Something for us to think about. So we did Superman, Red Sun.
Yep.
The last one, my number one, Death of Superman. Written by Dan Jurgens, Louis Simonson, Roger Stern, Jerry Ordway. Artist by John Bogdanova, Tom Grummett, Jackson Juice, and Dan Jurgens as well. It was a big crossover for Man of Steel, Superman, Man of Steel, the Justice League of America, Adventures of Superman, Action Comics, and Superman, including where it ends at Superman 75. It was a really good story. Doomsday. Enough said. He shows up, he gets out from wherever he was at, he starts fighting everybody. There was no information where Doomsday come from.
Came out of nowhere, basically.
He just he looked like he was tied up fighting with one hand at one point.
One arm, yep, correct.
And he was in the suit. It starts ripping it off because every damage he takes, he started getting bigger and bonier and whatever. And he was kicking everybody's ass. My only disappointment about that book was when they did the crossover with the Justice League. I wish there was like Batman, Wonder Woman, them. Instead, we got Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Fire and Ice, Guy Gardner.
Maximo was in there.
And Maximo was in there. She was like the strongest of the group.
Yeah, Blood. What's his name? Blood Axe.
Blood Spirit, Blood something.
That was Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter in disguise.
And
I figured that out when I read it.
There it is.
There's your Doomsday.
There's Doomsday. That's what he looked like. Except his hand was tied behind his back.
Yeah, went over.
And he was devastating, beating the crap out of everybody. And Superman was getting back and forth with him.
Hey, who gave him his name? Doomsday.
Doomsday was... I'm trying to remember. It was Booster Gold?
Booster Gold, yes.
Ah, that was a lucky guess.
Because Superman called him on Doomsday clocked him. He was in the air. Superman grabbed him, and he was like... Superman was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Some sort of doomsday."
It's like a doomsday device. It was something.
Yeah, look at that. Sick.
Yeah, that's where he ended up after the suit came off and his arm was...
That's me when I take my shirt off, but when I put it on, I look like this. When I take it off, I jack.
He had a little doobie. That's what it was.
Had some dubs. Get your W on. Get your doobie.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, our sponsor, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Our sponsor. Oh, great. Took me off guard. Okay. Comic Convo Express is brought to you by Dubby Energy Drink. It has 10 ingredients with coffee bean extract. You go to dubby.gg. Use the promotional code PEVGAMER, all caps, on 10% off all your entire order. Get your dub on.
Was that your all three that you got?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just go through mine quickly. You said Death of Superman, right?
Death of Superman, number 1.
That was my number 2.
Oh, good. Got you.
Number 3 was The Reign of Superman, where Superman returned. That ran through Superman Man of Steel 19 through 22, 1993. Written by Louis Simonson, John Barganov, Dennis Jakey. Ran through Superman 76 through 78, 1993. Dan Jurgens written in art and inked by Dennis
Jakey.
Jakey, yep. Yeah. Action Comics 686 to 688, 1993. What's his name? Jackson Juice. Justice League of America. Dan Jurgens and Dennis Jakey.
Dennis Jakey, yep.
That was basically Superman comes back. The Reign of Superman actually, Superman 500 introduces the 4 new Superman. You got Man of Steel, which is John Henry. You got, was it Eradicator? Who came Superman and looked like he had a visor.
Yeah, a little visor. Looked like Superman. I thought he was Superman at one point.
He came out as the other Superman. Then you had Cyborg Superman, which is Hacksaw. What was his name? Jonathan Hacksaw?
He had a funny name, but
yeah,
I just remember as Cyborg.
Oh, like that?
He looked like Terminator. Yeah, there he is.
There you go.
Okay. And then you have Superboy, which was the DNA from Superman that they cloned. So there was 4 Superman that ran around for 6 months, and then eventually Superman came back through the regeneration.
Thanks for the sun, right?
My number 1, I got to talk about this.
Let's do it.
It's Kingdom Come from DC Comics. The miniseries published in 1996, written by Mark Miller and Alex Ross. Breathtaking art, when I tell you. The story takes place in a possible future. Superman has retired. The next generation of heroes has emerged. But also the violent are reckless. The world is on a brink of chaos, and catastrophic event known as Apocalypse is impotent. An older grizzly Superman returns to action, joined by other classic heroes, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Green Lantern. And it's cool because Flash, on one of the covers, he's so fast, you can see his body. Just as he's standing still, you can see him multi flashes. Together, they attempt to restore order and defeat villainous Magog. He actually is the one who killed Joker, and Superman eventually retired because everyone hated Superman because, like, dude, why don't you kill all these bad guys? Mm-hmm. So basically, the story explores themes of heroism, mortality, and nature of power, and featuring stunning, beautiful artwork by Alex Ross. Kingdom Come is critically acclaimed as an influential series that has become a classic of DC Comics universe, the Death of Superman storyline, and that's pretty much it.
How did you get away with that loophole?
What loophole?
That loophole, the No Justice League. Y'all got on me with
the title is literally called
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come. But see, the main focus is Superman, and I love it because the fight scenes are breathtaking.
That's fair.
And this one where Superman goes to the government and tries to plead with them because they capture all the villains and they put them in like this dome. And it's so cool because
Wait, you actually have a fair point. I have an itinerary, damn it.
Well, it's mostly Superman. Well, hey, Batman.
It had everybody.
Batman Superman.
Batman versus everybody else.
Batman Superman. Know your role, jabroni.
I'm just saying, what the hell is this one? Because if I knew that, Kingdom Come would have been my number one. I have to agree with you.
It basically Superman. So anyway, the villains team up in the future. Batman's old. Everybody's old. It's pretty cool because all the villains are sitting around this table. It's this nice scene where they're like, hey, listen, how are we going to deal with Superman? And they're like, oh, we got something, man. Guess who comes in as serving food? Billy freaking Batson. Shazam. He's like, don't worry, I got an ace up my sleeve. So they brainwash Billy Batson, and Superman goes to the government, and all these villains are trying to break out of this dome. Mm-hmm. And Superman's like, listen, I'll deal with it. Me and my crew we'll handle it. Don't intervene, government. So he flies over there, and they freaking launch a freaking nuke towards where all the villains are, because they're like, listen, if they get out, they're gonna
take over the world.
Yeah, so freaking Superman's flying over there, and out of nowhere, a freaking big ass lightning bolt hits him. Wham! Superman, and then another bolt. Superman, it hits him so bad. Superman, you got to see the scene. It's Shazam standing over Superman, and you see like Shazam junk. It's like all up in Superman's face.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, and Superman's bleeding out of his ears. Sick. This freaking image, man, is embedded in my head. But anyway, he shows up and he's fighting Superman. Shazam. Superman ends up covering his freaking mouth, and then he turns back to Billy Batson, or he gets unbrainwashed. And so the nuke is coming to where the dome is, where all the villains are.
Right.
So Superman's flying to stop it, and Billy Batson throws him to the side, and Shazam goes up there and sacrifices himself. But when he hits it, it's near the dome. And you gotta see this image where all the villains are all dead and all superheroes are dead. So one of my favorite stories. Again, even though it's not pinpointed to Superman, it all ties to Superman.
And it was like the future of the DC universe.
Yeah, it's like it's an Elseworld story. But
exactly.
Again, stunning. If you can pick up this trade, a must read.
And also, besides the great storyline by Mark Waid, the interior completely, not just the covers that we were known for. Alex Ross did the interior. All 4 issues. It was just phenomenal to look at.
Great.
Gotta get yourself a
That's
copy.
my number one.
Yes. I agree with that.
That's my number
Good loophole, though, because that would have been my number one. Just saying that, but gotta give you that one.
Thanks, bro.
All right, gentlemen. We are a little bit over time for sure. Okay. But we do have another question. Numplex had said, would you say that Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth series is worth watching the show? Please directly answer yes or no. No diplomatic answers. Oh, okay, I like that.
Diplomatic, okay.
I'll go first. No. I just got finished watching the part 3. Oh my god. Read the comic. Please, go get it in a trade paperback. They got it in hardbound and they got it softbound.
The cartoon?
The cartoon?
The animated movie.
3 animated movies.
You know what? Watch it, but it's nothing like the comic. I mean, it has bits and pieces of it. Nothing like the comic. And if you've read the comic and you watch it, you're like, what the hell are they doing? Because I sat there through the whole show, all 3 episodes going, what are they doing? This wasn't in the comic.
What about you?
I've only saw the first 2. I have not seen the last one, so I'm not gonna pass judgment.
So from what you've seen,
but
is
from
it a
what
yes
I've
or no?
seen,
So far.
I'm going to say it's worth it. Yes, I'm the opposite of you on that, because it feels like we're watching DC starting to clean up everything that happened in the past, and it's gonna explode with a whole new universe. Like this, I got a feeling New 52 has come up after this.
Like a return?
Anime, right?
A whole, like everything that's gonna come out.
Hold up, but the universe, the animated universe prior to the Crisis on Infinite Earths was the New 52. So why would they fucking reboot it just to go back? That's so odd.
Because
I'm sorry to cut you off, but in the anime, they're tweaking everything's new. And like, I don't know if you saw the Man of Tomorrow with Lobo versus Superman.
See, I didn't like that one.
That's the reboot. That's how
they're pressing a reset button, and they're
I'm
doing
saying
it this way.
Dude, but Lobo took it to him though.
That's why I think it's. That's why I think it's worth
from
watching.
The star too.
Yeah, no, of course.
Badass. Bastages.
All right. So that being said, guys, we're over. Cool. Tommy, you got your top 10?
Yes, I do. Oh. Let me get to my.
This
top
is.
10.
I'm sorry. Let me.
These are the hot top 10.
Hot top 10.
Our hot top 10.
Ta-da. All right.
Get my devil.
Let me get my hot top 10. All right, guys, here we go. I will go from bottom to the top.
Go for it.
All right, here we go. Wolverine Origins, number 10. Daken, the son of Wolverine.
Shink, Klopp's here, Claw
First
there.
appearance. Hot book. They're saying he might appear actually in the new Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh.
Big spec book. Number 9, The Joker number 1 from 1975. First solo Joker book.
Good.
It's on fire. Because of course the new Lady Gaga movie. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, here
Good
we go.
Joker coming up. Then you got number 8, Hulk. Red Hulk number 1. First appearance of Red Hulk on the cover.
Hulk number 1, Ed McGuinness.
In the trailer, New World Order looks sick. You know what? Good,
I will
bad, or
see it.
indifference. I'm still gonna,
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah,
still gonna
just
watch
for
it. Then you got Deadpool, Merc with the Mouth, number 7. Number 6, you got Punisher number 1, the first solo series. But this is the mini series. Mike Zeck, where he's holding the 2 guns. There's like a trash can next to him.
Yes.
Love it. Airbrush cover, inked by John Beatty.
Nice.
And then, believe it or not, because the comics are hot now, and I'm sure there's a movie coming out, Transformers number 1.
The Marvel?
Yeah.
Ah!
And if you ever see the cover, it says on top, it says number 1 of a 4-issue mini series. But they ended up with 181 issues.
It became ongoing.
And it's cool because the last issue, it was so hot because they made toys to go with it. It was so hot, the last issue said number 4 in a 4-issue miniseries. I love it. I actually have the book.
Thank you, Transformers, that was in growing up back in the 80s.
And then number 4, you got Iron Fist number 14, first appearance of Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Wolverine
He'll be
Sabretooth
in the
going
movie.
at it. Number 3, Silver Surfer number 1. Number 2, you got New Mutants number 98, of course, the first appearance of
Deadpool.
First appearance of Deathstroke. Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Thank you, Rob Liefeld.
Thank you, Rob Liefeld.
Still can't draw feet.
Rob Liefeld, yeah, and arms. Thank you. Number 1, you got Wolverine by Frank Miller. And that's what I got for my top 10, guys.
Nice. Hot books.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you guys again. Please hit the subscribe, hit the follow, leave a comment if you like. Thank you again for joining us, spending some time with us, having a conversation.
Convo. And be sure to check us out on Patreon for the after show.
Yeah, we got some juicy topics coming up there, guys.
So
show some support. Check us out. Get some merch.
This is the Comic Convo Express.
Comics Express.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you much. God bless. Take care.